Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Concordia University's Fourth Space. Thank you for joining us for today's event, Call and Response, Elements of Multimedia. Just to help situate you, we are streaming to YouTube live from Fourth Space. We are located here on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. Here at Fourth Space, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge, co-creating daily activities, examining research questions, looking at projects in development across the university. We're running today's event also as a live stream Zoom meeting, so anyone joining us there, we'd love comments or questions, just pop those into the chat. Okay, enough from me. Now, I'm happy to pass things over to Assistant Professor of Theater, instructor of the Elements of Multimedia course, Mo Beatix. Mo, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. I'm Mo Beatix, and I'm an assistant professor in the theater department, as Doug said, specifically in the scenography area. So this is a course that is housed in scenography. And what students have been doing all semester, if they've been exploring the basics of video and projection mapping and thinking about how those elements interact with surface, with sound, with meaning. And so what we're going to be taking a look at today is the culmination of two different projects, Call and Response, where Call, they developed a video in response to audio, and then Response, they have mapped it onto a surface in ForSpace. And so we're going to take a tour around this pop-up exhibition. We'll ask each student and student group to tell us a little bit about the work. We'll have space for a little bit of comments and reflections from folks who have come to watch and fellow attendees. And then we'll move on. So we'll have about 10 minutes per piece, and we're probably going to be here for about 90 minutes or so. The work here is incredible. I'm super proud of the students. They really leveled up and brought their best game. I don't want to say A game. That sounds like sort of douchey, but like, right? But they did. You know, that like you will see. It's awesome stuff. And if you're not here, I'm glad you're watching the documentation at least. Anyway, I'm going to start with Chris and Charlotte, who are going to tell us about their first work. So Chris and Charlotte, let's give you a microphone.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. We have to restart the video and then we'll just run it.
Oh.
We're just restarting it.
All right. Yay. So Chris and Charlotte, do you want to tell us a little bit about the work?
Yeah. So I'm Chris. I'm a second-year scenographer, and this is Charlotte. I'm a fourth year. When we found this audio on SoundCloud, we were like immediately thinking about how ridiculous it was, and obviously, like there's a lot happening politically, and this is really political, and all of the headlines that we're seeing are really ridiculous. And so we took a lot of inspiration from like political cartoons and our relationship with them. And we're thinking about the Canadian landscape and all of these foreign and unfamiliar and kind of scary influences that are coming in and changing the way that we see the world around us. Yeah.
Yeah, and also when we think about landscape and also relation to Indigenous peoples, land is inherently political now, and so it's also about the politics of land itself and how it relates, and also, yeah, about newspapers and everything, and how Canada is just now seen as always political and always has been and probably always will be because of the states and everything going on, and how it's just always an overwhelm, which is why we included newspaper. And also with what we decided to install it on, we wanted to make it feel like windows almost, and we wanted to use the natural light from outside to kind of shine on the landscape and kind of have a landscape within a landscape. And also this idea of like kind of trying to cover up and hide, like you're trying to bear up windows, also with the newspaper and the newsprint that we used as well.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Does anyone have any comments, thoughts, or reflections on the work that they'd like to share? No pressure.
Oh, yeah. If you could.
You have to pass the mic to them.
If you could map this on, I guess if you had like an unlimited budget to do this, or like on a building or something, what do you think you would want to do for that? That's my question.
Should we both individually answer this question? I feel like my first thought would be like either like a governmental building or like on a landscape itself that we're able to like put a landscape on a landscape, like one of those two. I also like the idea of playing with sunlight. It was like a challenge that we wanted to also play with, where it's like you think about projection and you think of like darkness and then projecting on it, but we're kind of playing with that idea of light as well. So kind of like an outdoor space I feel like would be fun to map on, of sorts. Yeah.
Awesome.
Any
You have a comment from Nadia.
Yes, Nadia.
Question.
With making a piece that's so overtly political, was there any like boundaries that you set as artists, or like any specific care when discussing politics within your art? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I would say we wanted to go Canadian as much as possible. I think that was maybe the boundary or the constraints we had, just because it's where we are, what we can talk about most, and what we can relate to. So there's a lot about the US still because we're inherently connected to them, especially right now in the political state. But it was also just about political overwhelm. So it was kind of, it was supposed to be a lot, and there's supposed to be a lot of different content in it because it's kind of just about like all the different information that comes at you.
Yeah, there was nothing that, was there anything? No, there was nothing that we were scared of. No. Well, it's like, I wasn't thinking of it of like, everyone's gonna see it, and like, you know, I knew it was just like this group and I could just put whatever I wanted, and you guys know I'm not like super right-wing, so it's like, I wasn't scared.
I guess, yeah, also just knowing like us and our beliefs that we know each other is what came out is just naturally what we believe in and see. Like there's, yeah, does that make sense? Great.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Excellent.
Thank you, everyone.
So next we have Bella. So Bella, do you want to fire up your work and tell us a little bit about it?
Before I do that, may I ask for a volunteer from the audience who I definitely don't live with? Oh, who's this? You, actually. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. She's gonna sit down. So for this, I'm gonna ask you to throw these glasses on and really put your mind in a space where you are a VJ, okay? Yeah. So this is an interactive piece with my DDJ Rev 1. So there's two different decks pretty much, which are playing the same video with some interesting filters sort of thrown over it. So Sylvia is, person I don't know, is gonna just play around, just be a DJ for a little bit. All right, so start with this one. Yeah, go for it.
Woo!
Have your cake and eat it too.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm gonna pause this. Oh, just kidding. Okay.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your?
I would love to talk about
Please do.
things, literally anything. Okay, so for this piece, I decided to work by myself. And I make just in my free time a lot of am I too? So, sorry. Great. In my spare time, I make a lot of bad music. Well, not bad, but I guess for fun. And I decided when we were given this task, we were to choose whatever we wanted, and I was like, actually, I'm gonna make my own song. So I made this song the night we were given the task, and I was like, I'm only gonna give myself a little bit of time to do this, and I think I made it in an hour and a half. But the actual video itself is based on, or at least inspired by, music videos. I love music videos. The person who definitely doesn't live with me can attest to this. I'm constantly watching them. But my favorite music video growing up was Benny Benassi's Satisfaction, which is a lot of kind of naked women dancing around, which was my favorite as a young child. So I kind of wanted to do something very similar and sort of put people in the shoes of my younger self, being able to watch these women jump around in awe. I did all the backgrounds, I did the song, did the editing, whatever. I also like to DJ. That's where this part comes in, just for funsies. And is there anything else I can think of? I don't think so. Yeah, have fun, I guess, playing with this after. Anybody can go up and pretend to be a DJ, or be one, I guess.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Yay.
Maybe snacks.
Does anyone
Any
have questions or
questions?
comments for Bella? Can you tell us? Oh, Tira has one. Go on for it. Tira.
Hold on.
If you could map this elsewhere with with as much budget as you want and wherever you want, where would you do it?
So my original idea for doing this was, before I added the deck element to it, was that I really wanted to project it as big as possible, so that it was the whole project is pretty vain. It's just me dancing around, being whatever. So I was I want to make myself as big as possible, so there's literally no escaping me. So think literally if I could do it, maybe a huge building or something. It'd be really obnoxious, but it'd be cool, I think. I don't know. Any more questions? Oh, I don't know if you get it.
Yeah,
No.
I do. Can you walk us through your system setup?
Yes, sure. Projector is plugged in to power. And this is HDMI, which is running to my computer, which is running Serato, which is a DJ software, which also has a VJ software, which is like you can upload your own videos to it. And so when I did that, it took really long because Serato is really annoying with the way that you have to encode things, or else it won't read it. So I had to get a couple softwares for that. And then from that, the DDJ Rev 1 is plugged in, which works with Serato, which is projecting onto here. So, and these blocks are from ForceSpace. Oh, and my headphones are mine. So.
And what's it like to work with a person who doesn't live with Bella?
Yeah.
Working on this project just now, this time.
Just experiencing the setup
Yes.
for the first time, definitely.
Like this immediate experience was really cool because I think like when you're sitting, like the setup is really smart in making the audience feel like they are in control of the video. It really reminds me of like MTV, like when like in the 90s and everything. Like I feel like a really cool kid. And it's like everyone's like dream, I feel, when you're a kid and to be a DJ.
The sunglasses are also a crucial part for sure.
It really puts you into the...
It's a really great experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you pass that to Stella and Martha? And we're going to go to the center circle next.
So our piece is meant to be experienced with headphones, so we were trying to think of the best way to share it with you that we could all hear.
Up to you. Does someone want to try out the piece with the headphones or do a little bit of dancing and some projected light? Anybody? Anybody? Tira? No? Awesome. Awesome. So maybe we could take the mic and you guys could tell us about it while the rest of it plays out? Yeah?
Yeah, so this piece we started with thinking of a EDM set. Okay, we're gonna get a music, EDM, all right, lights. We were thinking a lot of visualizers, a lot of, since this was supposed to be dance music, something upbeat, and we wanted to see a lot of movement. And our concept for the piece is, the lyric says it's falling, and so it's like they're falling to the ground. So we were thinking of comes to an organic piece with the geometric shapes, and then they go to the organicness of like the grassy visuals and the flowy ones.
Yeah, everything you see or you saw just then, that's auto-reactive. But yeah, very similar. We wanted to play with the kind of juxtaposition of the organic materials and then going back to geometric, the saturation of the black and white, and just kind of changing it throughout that and having it feel as if the like projection and story and sound is falling kind of onto you as the spectator, and that's why it's placed kind of in a high traffic area so that people can come through. They're welcome to dance, they're welcome to experience it like very one-on-one with the headphones, and that was kind of the conceptual element of it, of like the falling, the double meaning.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Woo. Do you folks have questions or comments? Yeah, we have a question.
How could you see this being adapted as something like slower music? Like what kind of visuals? How would you maybe change the shape? How would that change like the overall energy that this brings?
Like if it weren't EDM?
Yeah, if it were a different kind of music.
Well, I think this application of projection and like immersive spectator experience could be adapted in a lot of different ways. Like as we saw, some people were like dubstep and clubbing and just like partying in there, and some people were doing like the tango. So I'd be curious maybe like if it were, you know, a slower kind of like ballad song or a tango, like how that would draw people into it, and maybe like you could pull it out to be more expansive to like fit an entire like dancing group of people.
Yeah, maybe the colors could change, but most of it, I think, is it has a vibe. Like, I think it could fit with a lot of different types of music, and like Stel said, like going tango, going slow.
Can you tell us what softwares you worked with to make it?
Yeah, so every visual you're seeing here, we made in Touch Designer, just using like different components, networks, like noise, and just kind of adapting and manipulating that. And then the transitions were added in different like video editing softwares, and the kind of mask that created the wiggling and ridge on the edge that you see.
One of the things that I really appreciate about that you have the headphone setup is that you can almost experience this as like a solo quiet disco, just like have a dance, also a dance floor for one person that, you know, has its own kind of existential questions as well. So very nice.
Absolutely. And feel free to come by later and dance in it.
Yay. Thanks so much. Awesome. All right, now we're going to talk to Renata about their painted canvas. So if you wouldn't mind passing off the mic.
Okay.
Oh, can we turn up your music a little bit?
If it's okay, I think I'm just going to say a few words
And then,
I'll
okay, yeah,
yell.
absolutely.
Yeah. So it is a video loop that's like a minute and a half, and I'll play it with the music. I just wrote out a little statement as to stay concise. Okay. So with music by EDM student Léonie Fleury-Paré, in this installation called Still Alive, I am creating a dialogue between the different elements in my artistic practice that come together to produce my creative flow. The piece is inspired by the music that moves me, the materials that ground me, in the dynamic, layered brushstrokes that are in sync with my artistic instincts. Yes. With that said, I'm going to put up the music, and I'll let it run for a minute or so.
Awesome. So does anyone have questions or comments for Renata? Oh, no, yeah, there's a bunch of hands just went up, so Renata, you can
Okay, yes. So
pass the mic.
I'm really curious about the layering of these mediums. Could you tell us more about like the processes and softwares you made to use this? Like, are you projecting an image of the canvas, or like how is the distortion and mapping happening right now?
Yeah, so the funny story about this piece is that this canvas, it is an actual unfinished painting that I did when I was in CJEP, and then COVID happened. So it's been like in my home for a couple years, and for this piece, I wanted to bring it back and keep the like layering of the paint, as you can see. And I made like a video with like a bunch of different effects on it, and then I put it in Mad Mapper. Yeah.
Other questions? Yeah, Celia?
This isn't like a question, it's just a comment of like it's just so dynamic and really like alive, and I could just look at it all day. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you. I mean, the intention with the effects was to create the like idea of like the layering of the brushstrokes continuously, seeing as this is a painting with a lot of underpaintings and a lot of layers.
Thank you so much, Renata. Much appreciated. All right, let's pass the mic to Rory and talk about his corner.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. And just as we're transitioning, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Vid Cousins, who is an instructor in the music department, who connected us to that Leonie for Renata's music. So thanks for that. And Rory, tell us about your piece.
Yeah, so originally inspiring this piece, I had I've been working on a documentary project. A documentary project trying to capture Baltimore, where I'm from, as well as Montreal, just kind of an open-ended documentation of the city. And I had a bunch of B-roll that I hadn't used in it, so I was kind of going through that and kind of wanted to try and make something out of it. It's all filmed on like an old Sony brick camera, but I was really trying to find the most kind of liminal pieces I had, and I kind of in like looking through that, I noticed there was like a kind of a thread between them. Like all of them, all of these places have been affected by gentrification or like a lack of like government assistance. A lot of them, like Harbor Place is one of them, open public space sold off to build condos and private green space that's not accessible to the public. It was the biggest public space in Baltimore City, and it's about to be developed. Most of this stuff is similar, has similar problems. In Montreal as well, Mile End and Silo 6 or 7, I can't remember the number, but they're tearing it down too. But yeah, I'll just play it with the music. I just wanted to add that context.
Great, thanks. Lovely, thank you. Questions or comments for Rory? You want to pass the mic over this way, Rory? You have a question for Madison.
What made you decide to do it from a top view, like place a projector here and have it glancing down?
I really like the idea. I've been thinking about it for a while, but haven't really had the resources or the time to like. I like getting really close to projection. Like I feel like it's a really cool effect to be able to like stand right next to it without blocking it. So yeah, I just wanted to experiment with that. And yeah.
Yeah, with the prior projects, people were talking about how they would, if they could, make their projection bigger. Do you think that having yours be smaller, adds and speaks to the piece, of course, what with the theme?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of like that it's personal, kind of. Like you can, I don't know, it seems like, like it can be viewed in a group, but I kind of like that it feels like kind of like a one-on-one, like if you're viewing it alone from right here. So yeah, I kind of like the scale of it.
I have two questions. One is, I have mic, I'm good. But can you tell us about that pause that you edited into the video where we have a moment of blank space? And can you tell us about what software you used to build the piece?
The pause at the beginning, or?
Yeah, the pause in the loop of the piece.
Yeah, so I guess I felt like I wanted it to have like a beginning and end. And I felt like if it was like looping, like I wanted it to kind of build into that distortion. So I wanted there to be like a clear cut gap in it. As far as the program, I used a touch designer for it, and it was kind of funny. Like I was following a tutorial, and then I broke it, and it looked kind of cool, so I used that. But yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you so much, Rory. So now we're going to head over to Tira, Nadia, and Sylvia's station, and we're going to pass the mic to them.
So this is our group project called Polly. It's basically like when we heard the prompt for the project, we found some music off of, it was Free Music Archive. Yeah. So then off of that, we really wanted to look at themes of like nostalgia and like that sort of 2000s like computer sort of aesthetic. And then we also within this project, it's interactive, so we have people dancing on this like green space. They're projected onto our like puffy computer, as well as onto the little paint TV. And also somebody can sit here and click as like, and go into these apps that we made that have little polymap objects that are kind of just symbolic of like childhood and nostalgia. And
primarily our software that we used was Touch Designer. We used many effects. First, we have, do you know what the point blob trace effect? That captures the movement of the GIF behind. And it is audio reactive. So we have headphones, but it's in time with the high beats of the music. Secondly, we have a mouse that when you click, it becomes bigger. As well as when we go into the polymapping effect, the white lines are also audio reactive based off of, I think, the low beats of the song. Again, with the fragmentation of like nostalgia and whatnot. And then here, with the 3D person rendering, we used a Kinect Xbox camera that takes infrared data image and maps it on, and playing with like the pixelation. Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of programmed things so it's like you use a real keyboard and a real mouse to play on the fake computer that we built. So you can press V. We have like little instructions. You can press V to, oh wait, go back. Press V to put Nadia in the void, where it's just black, because we had that in our original video. So we wanted to pay homage to that.
And obviously you can use the mouse and click into different polymapping things. And yeah, you can put on headphones if you want to be a little dancer. And also you can be seen from the outside because, oh my God, what's on this TV is also on the other side. So from outside you can see everyone dancing. And yeah, there's headphones for anyone playing with the computer, and there's headphones for the dancers too. I think that's it.
Can we invite folks forward to play with the piece? Well, maybe we ask, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go forward and play.
Just don't block the sensor or the projector.
And while that's happening, I'm wondering if folks have additional questions or comments. Not additional, we haven't had any yet. There we go. It matters where you stand.
Where is the audio coming from?
Where the audio's from headphones. Excellent. All right. Do you folks have thoughts, questions, comments at all? Participation as commentary. Yeah? All right. Thank you guys so much. Excellent work. All right, next we're going to Miley. If we're going to pass the mic to her, can we, I don't want to create feedback myself. We're going to navigate through the space. And we're going to go to the left. So much for coming in, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Right.
So my name is Miley, and my project is called Daydreaming About Spring. So I'm gonna show it and then talk a little bit about it. Okay, so my speaker didn't work, so the music was a little weird because it's from that computer. But so basically, my boyfriend did the music. He do like a little bit of music. So when I
What's
heard
your boyfriend's name?
Mathias Claire.
There we go.
So when this project was like told us, I was just like going through his file and to like choose a music, and I stopped on that one, and I thought about I really love like working around nature like these past like few semesters at Concordia, so I was like okay, and this song has like this kind of like airs of like nostalgia, melancholic tones, and then there's like a spark, a beat, and then it go back to like the nostalgia tones. So I was like, I'm really excited for spring and for summer, so why not do something with like flowers and like the fact that like the landscape that are frozen or will become like warm and full of color and full of life soon. And then I've choose to like my inspiration were like those lumen flower print that are like reveal, create with like the sun. So I thought it was like the perfect mix for that. And it's just like this kind of like meditation space, this like dreamy idea when you're looking at the flower because they're a little bit like trippy in a sense. So at the beginning we see like this bike that is like forgotten during the winter, and then the beat start, the spark start, and then the flower bloom, they swell, and then at the end is like the dream is done and it's not like spring yet, and it's still cold outside, and it's still winter. So yeah, and for like the projection part, I thought about like one of my strong visual of like when spring is coming and those washing line. Like my parents are from the countryside, so there's a lot of these washing line. So this is like a strong visual for me for like when spring is coming. Like people are getting their clothes out and like they let the sun and the wind like do their thing. So that why I decided to do this little set again, like to bring the vibe and of the sun come in. And that's it, I think.
All right, thanks
Thank
so much.
you.
Does anyone have questions or comments?
Question? Oh, okay.
Yes, so I wanted to say, I don't know if people standing over there were able to experience it, but over here there was this sense of laundry, of smell, and I really appreciated that because that is something that we experience a lot with the nice weather outside. People just wash their clothes and the smell is all over. You're walking, there's flour, and you're like, somebody's doing laundry. And that's a really nice moment in your day.
Yeah, I really wanted to integrate like everything in it. So yeah, and I also have stickers if you want some. Just saying, I made some stickers. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So let's move on to Valerie and Madison. So whichever route is best for the camera, you can go either way. So if we go that way, then we might start with Valerie. And just a note for folks on Zoom, I feel like we have not intentionally neglected you, but we'll have a moment to invite your comments and feedback when we're done with everyone. We'd love to hear your thoughts if you have not gotten the chance to speak. So we'll start with Valerie. And there's a whole crowd situation here, so folks need to get into the secret space that Valerie has created.
You're welcome
go around the corner there.
to come in here.
Yeah, get cozy, folks.
I marked with an X where you cannot go because of the lights and the projector.
Yeah.
There's also seating right here and here.
Don't turn.
And also someone can come here if they want to, and here. Yeah. So the idea for this piece started from a song that my cousin made. Her name is Charlotte Corin Dubois. And basically, we've always wanted to work together. So this project was the perfect opportunity to do so. And I chose this track from the many that she had for me to possibly use because of that breathing at the beginning that felt so raw and so in connection to my way of creating art, which is very in tune with emotions. And I realized that a lot this past semester, that I create a lot with my emotions that I'm feeling at the moment of the project. So, these past few, I want to say months, I've been feeling a lot of rage. It's based on many things, including the current political climate and all that treatment that various minorities may be getting in result of that. And it is why I chose to explore with this piece Femrage, which I hope you'll be able to feel. With this piece, I also wanted to bring you into the body or the mind of someone feeling that Femrage. It's a lot about the evolution of those emotions. So I hope you enjoy it. Warning, flashing light.
Thank you.
Because I'm up at 5 every morning working my ass off. Does someone want to just tell me to my face you're never going to give me the scores I deserve? Maybe you're just not as good as you think. Maybe you should pick another sport. Suck my dick. I'm married! Because nobody admits anything they've done! You're such a dick! My life! Murder me like you murdered my mother! Living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch! You don't even know who you are! I'm his mother! You are my mother too! And you will not fucking scare me! Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time! All I do is worry and slave and defend you. And all I get back is that fucking face on your face. I can't believe I have to know you forever. I get 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you. I was 9. 9 and taking care of you. Well, I don't own pearls. Lord knows you don't pay colors enough to afford pearls. Please, I'm a star. That's exactly what I need, to be judged all the time. He's sorry. Oh, he's sorry, 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 he's sorry. Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about them? Nothing! Get the fuck out of my Valerie! You are the asshole! Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Oh, you piece of shit, little tiny dick finger fucking asshole fucking eye!
Merci, Valérie.
Yeah, so any comments, questions?
I think certainly the feminine rage is very effective, and especially being in the space here, it almost feels like not necessarily that we're boxed in, but I have nowhere else to look but at the video, and it's so effective. The storm, I'd say, the imagery is interesting, seeing as storms like you know they pass and they come back. It's very much like these emotions that are being like transmitted in this video.
Yes, thank you. Any more comments or questions?
I just want to note how ambitious this space is that you've created, that you have not only this like video that has this rage, but this giant spray painted wall. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So in the second part of my video, there's a lot of these some of which you may have recognized, like famous clips of mainly movies. And those words with so many emotions in them felt really powerful to me. And it was important to put them somewhere, because I feel like feminine rage is associated with certain moments of very intense emotions. Of course, it builds up, but to me, it's what that wall, I guess we can call it, represents. For people who are not able to read it, it says many times, I hate you, then no, fuck you, why, what is it? Please stop. Stop please with a question mark, and why with a question mark also. Because so about my process, I was listening to a podcast about the evolution and how feminine rage or femrage, if whatever we want to call it, has become more and more present in mainstream media and has been exploited, and how different it's become exploited. And those are the questions or the comments that came out of me in reaction to that piece and to my piece, to music in general. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Who played? Whose voices are these?
Oh, so these are many famous clips of famous movies. We have Tonya Harding from I, Tonya. We have Pearl, the movie. We have the Les Femmes de l'Ombre. I'm not sure of the name in English, but about this Black woman working at NASA, which was really important to me because I have a white perspective and I wanted to bring different perspective, different representations into that piece because femrage is about everyone.
It's about, the movie's called Hidden Figures en anglais.
Hidden Figures, yes, thank you. Awesome. So it's many famous women, some of them, yes, fictional, because unfortunately, that's something I did discover with this piece. There are not many real famous women's recordings. So let's say if I was taking men for this project, that would have been only like real speeches, live speeches, but for women, it's a lot more fictional, which is very telling about femrage.
Mm. Well said, Valerie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, we're going to pass the mic to Madison, and then this is the work, so we're going to give it a little bit of space. And if folks want to watch this corner.
Okay, so we're taking a little bit of a transition.
Let's let folks kind of pass through, exit femrage, and enter the space that Madison has created. So, awesome.
So this is going to be a little bit more of a shift from femrage. I'm going into more of like a meditative experience. I'll explain a little bit before and a little bit after. But this is, I kind of created a landscape scene, and I wanted to create this intimate setting. I have a little person sitting up here, and I've created a landscape of the person talking to the moon, and the moon is relaying that and communicating that through the waves. And so the music that goes along with it is by a good friend of mine, Erin Marcelina, and they add a lot of beautiful harmonies and a lot of very lyrical emotion to their songs. And so right away this is one of my favorite songs of theirs, and so I wanted to put it into a piece, and it talks about wishing on a star, and I'll play it and then talk more about it after.
Hooray.
Thank you.
Sorry. We got it.
I just want to apologize. The program is really heavily working right now, so the audio has been a little bit choppy. I'll explain to you a little bit. So all the waves have been programmed by different particles. I used Touch Designer, and so every particle, it's made out of a million different pixels that are reacting to different pitches and different volumes. And so then the song then creates different reactions based on what it's listening to. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. This shape was kind of me experimenting a little bit. I wanted to try a little bit to work with depth and see what that could do and create kind of a more physical landscape. And then the wind behind it is also adding a little bit to the background as well. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have questions or comments?
I was wondering, because the moon can mean a lot of things to many people, I was wondering, in this specific project, what does the moon represent for you?
So actually one thing that comes to mind, it's kind of a cliche, but when you're missing someone and you want to see someone, even if you can't see them, you're always going to be able to look at the moon and you can see something that they're seeing and share an experience even though you're not directly with them. And so I feel like that's what that's representing for me in this project, is that feeling of missing and that emotion, but still being able to share that with other people.
So you had to do a lot of troubleshooting for this project. Like, I feel like you really came up against the edge of your knowledge and learning multiple times. Can you talk a little bit about like what that process was and maybe what you're taking with you into future work? Yeah.
So I wanted to really challenge myself using Touch Designer, never having used it before. And so I wanted to really focus on that and really try and get into the depths of programming. So the same kind of instancing that I used for the waves, I also used for the moon. So these are all moving, and you can change the translations based on what kind of codes that you put in. And so even though it wasn't exactly how I expected, I felt like I still learned a lot, and I really enjoyed the process going into it. And it's definitely something that I want to expand on more and want to learn more in my free time put towards my own projects. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right, well, that's the walkthrough of our pop-up. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite everybody to take another 5 or 10 minutes and walk through this space. We'll convene as a class for a chat amongst ourselves once the live stream is ended. But I'd also like to wander over and check in with the people on Zoom in case they have anything to say or questions. Before I do that, I want to give everybody just a huge round of applause. Just really incredible work from this class in general. Like everyone really put tons of work in and created some really beautiful stuff. So thank you so much. Let's go see the folks on Zoom, see if they have anything to say. And if not, then that will be what we've got for the day.
We did have some people coming and going on Zoom, but if anyone on Zoom does have a comment or a question, you can pop it into the chat. We could read it. You could also probably turn on your mic if you wanted to say
Do you guys
anything.
have questions for the audience, or for the artists rather? Works you want to see again? Silence from Zoom.
It's okay.
That's okay. All right. Well, thanks again to ForSpace and the awesome staff here. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll be back at some point in the future, I'm sure. The class will, and I will. So, awesome.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Will, for your comment. Really appreciate all the effort and personal expression, says Will. Okay, we're going to close up the live stream and the Zoom now, but just let you know that this event remains available on our YouTube channel, and it looked amazing back here. And I just wanted to, from ForSpace side, just thank you all for being just so fun to work with, and it was just amazing to see the space